All of you, welcome back to yet another project video. In this project, you're going to build your first ever, most advanced cross-chain decentralized financial bridge DApp where you will have your token in one particular blockchain and you can take that token to another blockchain. You will have a validator who's going to validate the transaction. So we have the complete feature which you will find on the real world use cases where we have the bridge model. Now let me give you a complete walkthrough that what are the feature and functionality we have included, how the validation will work, how the transfer of the token will happen from one blockchain to another. So when the user will come back to our application and connect their wallet, this is what exactly they will find. So the very first section we have in our application is the header bar. You can see the branding we are displaying. So I'm testing this particular contract we have developed on Hostly and Sofali network, but you can apply this to any EVM compatible chain like Binance, Ethereum, Polygon, any EVM compatible chain. You can implement the same model. So we have our branding, we have the few tabs. So you can click here and you will come back to the bridges section. You can click here and you can go back to the validator section. Only the validator, the admin of the contract, will validate the transaction. You can go back to the history section. You will find that which network is activated. You will find the network and you will find your wallet address and the balance. That's the first section. We have this automated, so you can click here and you can go back to the validator page and only admin can have the access of that page. And this is the hero page. So currently I'm connected with the admin account, so that's why I will have the access of the complete project, but I will show you all the transaction. So this is the hero section. We have given our branding. So we have our title, cross-chain bridge, and this bridge is created between Hostly and Sofali. So we have our token on Hostly network. You can have your token on Ethereum instead of Hostly, and instead of Sofali you can have your Arbitrum, you can have your Binance, you can have a Polygon. So the token I have on the Hostly and I'm going to transfer to Sofali. That's the architecture we are following. You can see that we have an instant validate, automated, secure, and we have 24/7 available. You can simply display based on your requirement. And here you will find the entire interface where the bridges will happen. So we have the title, cross-chain bridge, and here we are performing the transaction. So you can see I have already done the bridge and I have transferred a couple of tokens from my Hostly network to Sofali. I can able to bring this token back to my Hostly network. I'll show you the entire architecture including with the transaction. So if I want to switch between the Hostly and Sofali or Sofali and Hostly, I can click here and I can able to bring my token back here, which I will show you in transaction. This much token is available on the Hostly network. If I want to transfer my token from Hostly to Sofali, I have to give the amount and then I can perform the transaction, which we're going to do it practically. So here you will find some other details that how much token you will have in each one of this network. So this is the token I have on Hostly, and this much token is available on our Sofali. You will find some other details, and here you will find some stats about the transaction. So currently the bridge is activated. Currently we have one validator and total number of transactions I have performed is 9. You will find the entire structure that how it will happen between both the networks, and you will find some other details which we are providing about our project. So this one is a really important thing which you have to know. So this is the complete segment we have in our application. So we have the details. You can simply modify it and add based on your project. You will have the automated batch where we are providing the validating and monitoring and the event system we have. You will have this batch model where we are displaying the details, and here we have the footer section where we are displaying all the details about the token. So we have the token, we have the bridge contract, we have the wrapper, we have the Sofali bridge contract, and all of the network. You can simply replace with the network where you want to do that. So this is the complete bridge section we have. Now if I come back to the validator, here you will find all the details about the validator. So I'm the admin, so I can only have the access of this particular page, and here you will find that here we have all the details which we have provided, where we have the banner section where we have the information about the real-time bridge processing and other information. Here you will find the stats. So if I want to activate the validating process, I can simply click on the start monitoring and it's going to listen for the event, and here you will find all the transaction which is pending at the moment, which you have to confirm as a validator. So user have done the transfer of the token from Hostly to Sofali, and you as a validator has to confirm. So you can simply confirm it and the token would be transferred. Now you can come back here and here you will find some details about the transaction and other things which you can simply read about it. So this is our validator section. Now if you come back to the history, you will find that we are displaying some hardcore data, but you can display some more information about your project and you can add the event. So this is the hardcore data we are displaying, but you can display all the transaction which is happening on the event. So now come back to the bridges section and let's try to perform the transaction. So you can also click here, set up now, and you will come back to the validator page and you will have the access of the admin panel. But if someone else will try to access, it will not be available. So now what I will do, I'll come back here and you will find one thing, that currently I have 8 token on the Sofali chain, and this much token is available on my Hostly network. So first I'm going to perform the transaction and I'm going to transfer 5,000 token to my Sofali network. So I'll simply give 5 the quantity and you will find some details. So this much token I'm transferring to my Sofali network. You can see the details and you can have to click approve. So first we have to approve the token. So click on approve, double click, and it's going to perform the transaction. And here you can see we are performing the transaction. First we are locking the token in our contract and you will find all of that details. Let's click on this confirm and the transaction in the process. Let's minimize this one and you can able to see the details about the transaction. So here the transaction is happening. First we are approving and finally the approval is completed and we got this bridge token available. Now you have to simply click here and you will find that it's going to call our contract. So make sure to double click and click on this confirm, and the transaction is in the pending. You can click here and you will find the transaction is happening and we are locking the contract, because we are going to lock the contract in one particular network and we're going to enable the contract in another network. That's the model we follow in the bridges section. So you will find the transaction is completed and we have successfully transferred our token to our Sofali network. Not yet. Now the validator needs to confirm this transaction to make the token available in the Sofali network. So that's how you can easily able to transfer it. If I want to do more transaction, I can simply click 1,000 more token and I can click on this approve. It's going to perform the transaction and here I will simply click on this confirm and the transaction is happening. So just wait. Soon the transaction will complete and it will be approved and we have to confirm the transaction for the bridges. So finally the approval is done. Now you can come here and you can simply click and you have to simply click on confirm and the transaction is happening. You can click here and you will find that we have done 1,000 more token on the bridges. So just wait. And finally the transaction is completed and we have locked the token and you will find that this fund went down. Now I'm going to simply give a quick reload to see every single thing is working fine and we have done the transfer. Now let's try to do the validating process. So I have connected with the admin account. So I have the authority to validate the transaction. Once I will validate the transaction, then this token would be available on the chain. So I'll simply come back to the validator and here you will find that right now I have to start the monitoring process and it's going to listen for the event and fetch all the details. And here you will find all of this. All of this is in pending. I have to confirm one by one. So first I'm going to confirm this. Here it's confirming and you will find that it will give you the process. So this will confirm the transaction and is going to store. So right now we haven't called the function. We have just stored the information and confirm it. So now you have to simply click here and it's going to trigger this particular function and it's going to simply do that. So you will find the quantity we are confirming. So that's how it will work, because we always need one transaction in the pending mode to validate the other transaction. That's why we are taking this particular approach. So click on this confirm and here the transaction is the process. So click here and you will find that we are minting the token. Just a moment. Once it will be complete, we have our token back in our vault address, and finally we have minted the token on the Sofali chain. So we have done with that. Now once you're done with one transaction, you have to simply just give a quick reload to listen to the next event. Now you can come back here, click on it, and you will find that here is going to have the details. So we have successfully completed the process. Now I want to simply do the same with this particular token, so I'll simply click here process and it's going to be completed. Now I have to click on this process and here the transaction would be initialized. So again we are minting the bridge token 5,000. Click on this confirm and it's processing. So you can click here and you can able to see the transaction is happening and we are minting the token. So once it will be minting, the token would be available in our Sofali chain. So just a moment. Finally we are done with that. Now I'll simply come back here and try to execute this one. So this is the 600. I'll simply click on this process right now. Click on this another one and it's going to process the transaction. You will find that this time we are keeping 600 token. So you should always need one transaction in the pending mode to execute the other one, because that's how we are making the tracking. So just click here and you will find that currently we are minting our 600 token Just a moment, soon the transaction will complete and you will have the token in your wallet address. So just a moment. Finally we have completed, and you will find that we have done with all the transaction, but I'm going to simply give a quick reload, and there you will find that we have the monitoring. Simply click here, and here you will have the details about the transaction which is left. So we have the 400 left, we have the 400 left, we have the 700 left. So I want to execute the 700. So click on this process, and you will find that it's selected perfectly. Now I have to select the previous one, and it's going to trigger the event, and I will have the token. So I'll simply click on this confirm. Just wait, I have to click on this confirm, and here I have successfully processed. Click on the MetaMask, and you will find that here we are simply minting and performing the transaction. So just a moment, soon the transaction will complete and the token would be available. So finally we have done with that. Now if I give a reload, if I come back here, click on this monitoring, you will find the details about the true transaction which is pending. So I can simply click here and it will be selected. Now I need help of the other transaction, so I'll go with this one, and it will process the transaction. Simply click on this and confirm, and the transaction is in the process. Once it will be complete, you will have the token minted on the Solidity chain. So all the transaction which we are doing, the minting process we are doing on the Solidity chain, and we are locking the actual token on our actual network, which is the Hostly, and finally we are done with that. Now you can come back here, and you will find that currently we have one transaction is waiting for approval. So we have to wait for other transaction to be come into the process, then we can simply process and execute and confirm this one. So that's how the minting will happen. So if I come back to the bridge, you will find the token is available in our wallet address. So right now we have 12,500 token. Earlier it was 800 only. You will find that it's saying wrong network because our main token is available on the Hostly. So we can simply switch back to the Hostly, and we are on the Hostly. You will find our token. If you want to do the bringing the token back from Solidity to Hostly, you can do that very easily. All you have to do is to simply click on this switch to Solidity, and you will find that every single thing would be updated. If you want to switch back to Solidity, you can do that, but I just want to perform the transaction. Right now you can see I'm connected with the Hostly, so I'll simply click on the switch to Solidity, and it will be connected with the Solidity. So right now I'm going to bring my token from Solidity to Hostly. So let's do that. First I'm going to bring, let's say, 500 token to my Hostly network. So I'll simply click on this bridge and click on this bridge, and it's going to simply burn the token because this is the architecture we're following. Once we'll complete the token, we're going to burn it, and we're going to activate our actual token on the Hostly network. So click on confirm, come back here, and you will find the transaction is in the process. Once the transaction will complete, we'll have our token. So just wait, it's pending, and finally the transaction is completed. We have completed one transaction. Let's create a couple of more transactions. This time I will go with, let's say, let's give a quick reload to reset every single thing, that every single thing is working fine. We are back to the connected with the Solidity, but we are displaying the Hostly. So I'll simply click back here, switch to Hostly, and here I am connected with the Solidity, and I'm doing on Hostly. So now I'm going to simply select the quantity. I'll go with 1000 and click on this bridges, and it's going to perform the transaction. Just wait. We are simply burning the token we have available. You will find that the transaction is happening, and we are simply giving our token and removing from the Solidity, and we're going to simply unlock the token on the Hostly network, which we have simply locked in the contract. So just wait, the transaction soon complete, and you will have the details about the transaction. So finally we have done with that. Now if I want to bring more token, I can do that. I can simply click here, and I can give, let's say, 1000 or 100 more token. Let's give 1000 and click on this burn. You understand the drill, that how you have to do it. So just wait, we are getting the confirmation that 1000 token. Click on confirm, and the transaction is in the process. So just wait, soon the transaction will complete. So once it will get the confirmation, we're going to simply go back to the validator section, and from there we have to simply confirm the transaction. So just a moment, and here we got the confirmation. You can simply check your MetaMask, and you will find the details. The transaction is completed, and here you will find the details that our token reduced to 10,000. Earlier it was 12,500. Now I can come back to the validator section, and here you will find the details. Now I have to click on the start monitoring, and here you will have the details about the token. So currently this is the one we have left, which we cannot call because we have to wait for one more transaction to be visible. Then we're going to simply confirm this particular process. Now come back here, and here we have all we have to do is to simply process the transaction and bring the token back from Sofali to Hostclay. So first let's start with the 1000. So if I come back to my bridges, you will find that token we have available is right up here, like 805,000. So this number you have to keep in mind. Now we can come back here, come back to the start monitoring, and there you will find the transaction which we have available. So I'll start with the lower one, click here, process. It's processing, and it will automatically switch the network and select all the variables. Now we have to simply click on this process, and here it's going to perform the transaction. So here we have performed the transaction, click on this confirm, and it's going to unlock the token we have in our contract. Find the transaction is completed. Now you can come back to the bridges and just wait, and you will find that this went up to 6. Earlier it was 5. In the same way, you can come back here and you can able to see the details. You can click here and you can find that right now we have only these 2 available. So I'll go with this one, select. Now I have to click on this process, and here I have to simply click on this confirm, and the transaction is in the process. So once the transaction will complete, we'll have our token back on the Hostclay network, and it will be visible in our wallet address. So now you will find that we have completed the second transaction and it went up to 700. Now you will come back here and you will see that it has 2 transactions in the pending. In the same way, we have to wait for another burning, and we need the stats of that, and we have to execute the transaction. So this is the validator system we have included, which communicate with one transaction to another to validate the transaction process with actual data. So that one is very important. So this is how the bridges will work. Every single thing is working fine. Like if you want to switch back to Hostclay to Sofali, you can do that, and you can simply able to make that all move. So if I want to bring, let's say it has a 10,000, I can come back here and I want to bring, let's say let's do one thing. Let's click on the switch to Sofali, so it will change the network as well. Finally we change the network. Now I want to bring 9,000 token, or I can bring 901. I don't have enough funds, so let's do that. I'll come back here and I'm going to bring 9,100 token. So it's going to left only 90 token. Now I can click on this approve, and the transaction is going to be processed. So just wait. The transaction is happening. You can see we are calling the lock models in our contract to store the information about our token in one network. After that, we're going to simply execute the confirmation of the bridge. So first we are approving, then we are simply locking the contract and executing the burning and minting model on the other blockchain. So here we got it. Now click on this bridge token, and here the transaction is happening. It's going to open your phantom wallet. So just a moment. So it's taking a little bit time, just a moment. It's not executing, so don't need to worry about it. We have done the approval. Now reload the page. We are connected with the Sofali. I'll simply come back here to this. Now I have to give my token one more time, and you will find the token is already approved. So now we have to call the bridge token function. So let's click on that, and it's going to call our contract, and now we are simply doing the function call. So where we are burning the token, click on this confirm. Soon the transaction will complete, and we have to simply activate the validator model and call the function to bring the token back. So here the transaction is went through. You will find that it went down to 90. If you come back to the validator, you will find the details here. Click on the start monitoring. It will give you the details about the token, and processing is available. So I can verify this one and I can verify this one. So I'm going to verify this one because this one is the huge quantity. So I click here. So it's going to monitor and set all the information. Now I can click here in the process, and here you will find that we are simply calling the unlock token. So click on this confirm, and the transaction is going to be happen. So you can open up your MetaMask and you can see the transaction is in the contract and it's calling the unlock model, and we'll have our token back in our network and in our wallet address. So we have done with that. Now you can simply reload the page, and you will find that you have completed the transaction. So you can simply click here and you're going to find out the details. So this is the one which is left, and this is the one which we left. So if we have to wait for one more minting or burning, then we can able to execute, because we need one transaction to execute the other. If you come back here, you will find that your void balance went up and this went up down. So that's how the entire bridge model will work. I hope you have understood. This is the most advanced model you will find in most of the bridge platforms. So you lock the token in one particular network, you transfer that to the another network, and when the user will try to bring the token back to their previous network, they have to simply burn it, and we're going to activate the actual token on the chain. So every single thing is working fine. I hope you have understood that how powerful this project is. You can easily able to switch the network, and you can able to bring the network. You can do all of that. Every single thing is looking absolutely perfect. I hope you have understood that how exactly it will work, what are the feature and functionality we have included. So let's do one thing. Let's bring all the token we have brought in the Sofali, and I'm going to simply click on this bridge, and I want to bring all the token. So just wait, soon the transaction will perform. So again, I have to give the token quantity and click on this bridge. It's going to perform the transaction. Here we are. Now we're calling the burning function on the Sofali network. You can open your MetaMask to see the transaction is the pending. Once the transaction will complete, you have to simply validate the transaction, and the token would be available in the void address. Right now you can come back to the validator. There you will find the details. Click on this start monitoring, and here you will have the information about it. So you can simply execute this one, or you can execute this one. So I'm going to execute this one. It will entire the model. So we have the model ready. We can click on this process, and here you will find the details. Click on this confirm, and the transaction is in the process, and you will have your token back in your vault address. So you can open up your MetaMask to see the transaction is in the process, and we are calling unlock token, which will give us the token back to our vault address. So just wait, soon the transaction will complete and you will have the token. So finally the transaction is completed. Now you can click here, and you can go back to the explorer, where you can able to see the transaction, that how we have performed, how much token we have transferred, what are the models. That's all is there. You can come back here, you can click here, and you will find the details about this particular transaction we have made. Every single thing is perfectly aligned. So every single thing is dynamic. You can take this approach to any EVM compatible chain. Every single thing would be work absolutely fine. So I hope you have understood that what are the feature and functionality we have included and how it will work. I can simply come back here, disconnect my wallet, and my wallet is disconnected. I can click here, I can simply connect my wallet one more time, and I'm connected, and this portion would be available to me. I can simply click here, I can come back to the validator section, I can go back to the bridges, and if I check the responsiveness, it looks absolutely wonderful on mobile device as well. So let's click here, inspect element, and we have all of this, looks perfect. You can check all of the models looking absolutely great. You can simply click here and you will have your drop down menu. You can go back to the validator, and here you will have your validator section. Looks perfect. Now the moment you will switch back to a different account, you will find that you cannot able to perform the transaction and have the access of the admin panel. So the moment I will switch my network to account number 2, and you will find that access is denied. I don't have access of the validator process, because only the validator can do that. And if I check my fund, I have only 100 token in the Hostly network, so I can take this token to my Sofali network. So all I have to do is to simply perform the transaction. So I'll say, let's give my 100 tokens. First I have to approve, and here you will find the transaction is the process. Clicking the log, and here you will find it's happening. Just a moment, you can able to see we have approved the token. Now we have to simply click on this bridge, click twice, and it will activate. Click on confirm, and the transaction in the process. Now the token would be locked. So here we are calling the lock model in the contract. We have locked it. Right now there is nothing in here. You can come back here. Right now I cannot have the access, so I have to go to admin. I have to go back to the admin account, and you will find that this will be available. Click on the start monitoring, and you will find the details about the process. So this is the one we have. So I'll simply get this one. So I'll simply click here, it's processing, and I need the help of this transaction. So click on this, and it's going to perform the transaction, and is going to execute it, and will have the details. So you can see we are interacting with the Sofali chain. Click on confirm, and here we are. You can open up your MetaMask to see the transaction in the pending, and we have confirmed the transaction. Now if you change your wallet, go back to account number 2, you will find the token is available in your wallet address on the Sofali chain. Now if you want to bring it back, you can do that very easily. So I'll click on this switch the bridges, because this time I want to bring the token from Sofali to back to Hostly. So I'll simply give my quantity, and I have to simply call the function. Here it's calling that, initializing all the details. Click on this confirm. Let's see, we got the confirmation. Now click on confirm, the transaction in the process. Now all we have to do is to simply, this transaction need to validate by the validator. So once he will validate, the token would be available on the chain. So finally the transaction is completed, and you will find we got the details. Now I can come back to the validator, go back to the validator account, which is account number 3, and you will find that we have the option, click on monitoring, and you will see the details. We have the 100 token available. This is the one, but I want to execute this 100, so I can have on the network. I'll click on this process because I need the information of the PDS to validate. Click on confirm, and the transaction is in the process. So just wait. We are calling the unlock model, and the token will have in our wallet once the validator is done by the admin. And you can easily able to automate this entire process, where you don't need to simply come and do the validation. You can simply build a Node.js program which you can execute on the cloud, and it's going to listen for the event and automatically is going to verify, because admin has the power to do the verification. So you can simply set your wallet address, give your credential, and it's going to perform the transaction listening to every single event. So you can automate this process. Sky's the limit that what kind of logic you want to bring. I want to show you that this is what happened exactly in the real world. You can also add a multiple administrative, multiple validator who can validate the transaction. But in this we are focusing in one validator. So just wait, soon the transaction will complete and you will have the token on your wallet. And find the transaction is completed. Now you can change your wallet address to see that you will have your token back on the bridge in the main network. So you got your token back from where you have sent. So every single thing is looking fine. I hope you have understood that what are the feature functionality we have included in this bridges model. It required huge contracts. So to bring this functionality, we need 4 different type of contract, 2 contract for the bridges running on the chain, monitor the transaction and performing the transfer of the token. So every single thing is looking fine. I hope you have understood that what are the feature and functionality we have included, how everything would be working, and what exactly you're going to develop. Now let me provide you all the assets, all the files which you need, all the architecture which you need to develop this application. And if you want to take the final source code, you can take it to faster your development. So you can come back to the blockchain coder, or you can simply click on the link in the description and you will come back to the blockchain coder. Here you will find all the resources which you need to develop this application, all the resources. So we have already built more than 100 plus project which you can have a look. So you can come back here, make sure to log in, then you will have an option, click on the source code, then you will find all the project we have developed. So we have more than 100 project we have developed. So build at least 5 of them. When you will build 5 project like voting DApp, supply chain management, chat application, NFT marketplace, then you will understand how you can build this kind of complex project, complex architecture. So make sure to click on this recent project, and you will have this one. Click here and you will come back to this particular section, click on the starter file, and it will take you to GitHub, and then you will find all the resources which you need to develop this application. So you can able to understand the architecture we are utilizing. You can able to read about the requirement which you need to have in your system. So that's all is given right up here. All of things are given. You can able to understand the package model we are using. We are using TypeScript in this particular project, so you can able to understand every single thing. So make sure to come back here, clone this particular repository, or you can simply download in the zip file. So when we start working on the project, you can easily able to start follow the tutorial. Now let me show you that once you will get the final source code, how you can do the setup in your system and do the transaction and deploy the contract. So make sure to take the code, final code. Once you will take it, you will give your valuable contribution to my team to bring more tutorial like that. So the final source code, you will get the zip file. Make sure to extract the zip file, and you will get this particular folder in which you will have the complete source code of the project which you have seen in the demo. So make sure to install the zip extractor, then you can able to extract this folder, and you will get this particular folder in which you will have the complete code. Now this is the folder you have to open in your VS Code. So let's click on this VS Code, and here I have my VS Code. I'll click on this open. I'll go back to desktop, and I'm going to simply drag and drop this particular folder in my repository. Let's close this one, close this one, close this one. Let's make on the big screen. Now let me give you a complete walkthrough of folder and file structure, and what are the requirements you need to have in your system, and what are the variables you have to put in the project to execute the transaction. So the very first folder you will have is the app, in which you will have the complete code of the front end. So we will have the history, where we have the entire history page. Then we have our validator, where we have all the logic we have developed for our validator. So if you want to change any details, you can change this white text, but the rest of the thing you can keep it as it is. I would suggest you to first test as it is, after that do all the experiment. So this is the validator section. We have the global CSS file. Don't need to make any changes. If you want to do the changes in the branding, you can do that, but just test as it is. Then we have the layout. Just keep it as it is. Then we have our logo. Then we have our main page where we are simply injecting all the component and all of this code we have for our home page. That's all is there. Now I'm going to simply close this one. So this is the app folder we have. The next one we have is the component, in which you will have the complete source code of the component which we have designed for this particular application. The first one we have is the bridge interface. There you will find that this is the huge line of code we have coded, which has most of the functionality with interacting with the smart contract. That's all we have. So just keep it as it is. Don't make any changes. Just keep it as it is. The next one we have is the dynamic validator data. So just keep it as it is. It will display the details about the dynamic and who is have the authority. So just keep it as it is. Then we have the footer section. So if you want to do any editing in the link, in the details about the network and the icon and all, that's all you can customize. Come back to the header. Just keep it as it is. Don't need to make any changes. We are focusing on hostly. If you want to play around with the network, you can change the details about the network and you can change about the name. That's all you can simply configure. So whatever network you go to deploy and test, you make sure you have to change the actual chain ID and the name of the network, and it will be working fine in all the places. Okay. Then come is the history where we're displaying the hardcore data, but you can play with all the details and you can provide more details about this particular one, and you can add your custom data as well. As here, close this one. So this is the component section we have. So we have seen the app, we have seen the component. Now we can come back to the contract, and here you will find all the 4 contracts which you need to develop this particular project. So we have the bridge token, which is going to be the main token on the particular chain. We have the hostly bridge. So I'm focusing on the hostly network as a main, where I'm going to have my token, and I'm going to create the bridge on the Sofali. So that's what I have. This is the hostly bridge, and here you will find the other network where I want to create the bridge. So this is the Sofali bridge, and this is the Sofali token wrapper. And here you will find the readme file where you will find all the instruction about the token. So that's all you will find here. What I will do, I'll simply come back here and you will find all the details that how you have to deploy the contract, which I will take you through that. So make sure to follow this video till then, you will understand every single thing. But here I have already given you the complete in detail that which contract you have to deploy first. So first we have to deploy this one, token bridge on the hostly network, and this is the name. You can call whatever name you want, you can call whatever symbol to your application. After that you have to deploy the hostly bridge contract, which is this one. In that you have to initialize the contract, this token contract, bridge contract address, and you have to initialize that. After that you have to call the mint function, in which you will have the mint function, and you have to mint the token quantity which you want to provide as a supply. Then you have to simply switch the network and go back to the Sofali. Then you have to deploy our wrapper contract for the token, because when you're going to lock the token, this one is going to be enabled and is going to be visible on the other network. Then you have to deploy the Sofali bridge contract, in which you have to pass the wrapper token contract address, and that's how you have to do it, which I'm going to show you. So let's close this one. So this is the contract we have. This is the contract we have. Now we can come back to the hooks. There you will find that this is the bridge hooks we have. This is the user validator hook. So just keep it as it, don't make any changes here. Let's close this one, come back here in the lib. There you will find the contract. So here you have to paste the contract address. So this one is for the hostly, this one is for the Sofali. You can simply do the changes in the network, but I would suggest you that before you change the network, anything else, test the way it is. After that you have to replace the network where you want to pick. If you want to go with Ethereum, Polygon, make sure to change the name in all the places in the entire application. So here you have to paste the address of the token which we're going to deploy, bridge token, and you have to provide the address of the bridge contract which we're going to do it. Same you have to do with the Sofali. Here we have the network configuration, and here we have the ABI of all the 4 contracts. So this is the 4 contract which we have to provide the ABI after deployment. So close this one, come back to the environment variable, and here you have to provide these 3 information. So here you have to get your wallet connect project ID, and here you have to get the RPC URL for both the network, Sofali and hostly, and we are using this particular provider for it. Now you can come back here in the git ignore, just keep it as it is. We have the txt configuration, leave it as it is. If you come back to the packages and file, we are using the most stable version. So no matter when you are building this project, it's going to work absolutely fine. So make sure to build and follow the way I'm explaining you in this video. Make sure to use the exact package version. Everything would be working fine no matter when you are developing this project. Come back to the post CSS, just keep it as it is. Come back to the readme file, that you will find all the details, all the instruction about this project. That's all is given here. So just keep it as it is. Now come back to the Tailwind config file. This is the simple model we are following, but you can simply play around with this one. So close this one. Come back to the TS configuration. Here we have done the compression, so it's going to execute our proper and follow all the package properly. So this is the complete folder and file structure you will have for the particular project. So I hope you have understood the complete architecture for this application. Now we're going to start working on deployment of our contract. So the very first thing we have to do is to come back to our contract. So first we have to deploy this contract, then we have to deploy this contract. So once we'll deploy this contract, we'll get the address, and that's what you have to pass into this as a constructor, because that's what we need here. If you check the construction, you will find that this is the address we need, and it's going to set in the bridge. So that's the first thing. Once we deploy this contract, after that we have to come back here and we have to call the mint function we already had, and we have to pass the address and the quantity. That's the first thing we have to do on the host clay, which is going to be our primary blockchain where we are launching the token. Now the second bridge, which is the Solidity, the bridge network, this contract I have to deploy first. Wrapper token contract. Once I get deploy that, I will get the in which I have to pass the name of the token and the symbol. I will get the address, and then I have to simply deploy this one, in which I have to simply pass the address as a construction of the token address, and that's what you will find here, address. So this is the process we have to follow. Now let's do that. So first what I will do, I'll come back here, open up your remix ID, because that's what I'm going to use for deployment of the contract. So you can simply type remix ID. You should always search on Google and find out this particular one. Never follow any particular link, because there is a lot of fake remix ID, and if you connect with the fake one, they're going to drain out all the fund which you will have in your wallet. So make sure to click on this, and it will take you to the official remix ID, and this is the official URL. That's the thing you have to keep in mind. And here they have mentioned that you should never run any type of liquidity and bot unless or until you know that what exactly happening. So what I will do, I'll simply come back here, and you will find that I already have the couple of contracts. So I'm going to simply select, and I'm going to delete that one. Delete all. Right now I don't have any contract, it's empty. I'm going to simply delete this artifact, so nothing in here. So when I will compile the contract, it is going to generate it anyway. So first thing, I will come back here, let's follow the instructions. So first thing we have to get our contract. So this is all the contract we have. This is the first one, bridge token, which is going to be the main one. So that's what I'm going to select. I'll select this and create all the folders. So this is the first which we're going to deploy. Now come back to the second one, which is going to be our host clay bridge. Copy. That's what I'm going to select here, and I'm going to click here and create a next file. Now I come back here, go back to the third one, and here we have the wrapper. I'll simply copy this one, come back here, select and create the folder file. Now come back here, then I'm going to go back to the Solidity bridge, simply copy, and that's what I can select here and create. So I have created all of these three files. Now let's start with one by one. So first I have to get the contract of this. So I'll simply come back to my code. This is the contract I need, simply copy, and that's what you have to paste here. So I'm in this particular one, simply paste here and click on this close, and you can simply save. So it's going to compile it, and you will see it will automatically generate the artifact and the ABI of your contract. This one is very important. After deployment of the contract, we need this. Now we have to come back to the host clay bridge. I'll come back here, and I'm going to get this particular one, simply open this on, come back here, select and paste here, close this one and save it. And here we have done with this one as well. So I'm going to simply close this one, close this one. Now this two is left. So let's come back here. I have to get this Solidity bridge. I'll simply select all, copy. That's what I can come back here, and this is the Solidity bridge. That's what I have copied here. Guess, right? Yes, I have copied the same one. So I'll simply copy one more time, come back here, selected this one and paste here, close. Now I'll simply save it. You can see it's normal, just keep it as it is. Now we can come back here in the wrap token bridge, come here, go back to the wrapper, copy, come back here, and we have to paste here and click on this and save it. And you will find that the moment you will save it is going to generate the ABI and the artifact. So simply close this one. Now we are ready to do the deployment of the contract. So let's close all of this file. First we have to deploy our token contract. This is the one we have to deploy first. So make sure you should have some fun. You have to pick one address, and that's the same account you have to use for deployment all of the flow contracts. So if I come back here, you will find that I'm first going to deploy the deployment of the host clay network. So first I will simply log in, and you will find that the host clay is already configured in my MetaMask. So I'll simply come back here, and you will find that host clay is already configured. already configured. So if you don't know how to add it, you can add it manually. So you can simply click here and you can come back here, and here you have to provide all the details. You have to give the name of the network, you have to get the RPC URL, and you can simply click here and you can give the RPC URL and you can add it. Then you can provide the chain ID for the host key, then you can provide the symbol which is ETH, and you can provide the explore URL. So I hope you know how to add the network. This is really basics. You can add it manually. Perfect. So I'm going to do the deployment on the host key first. So I'll simply click on host key and you can see that I already have enough fund. So I'm going to use the same account. So let's change my account number 3. This is the account I'm going to use. So you can see I already have enough fund for deploying the contract on host key. And I'm going to use the same account for deploying the contract on Solidity. This account number 3. And I already have enough fund. But in your case, if you don't have enough fund, you can come back here, type Google Web3 Cloud. It's a really powerful platform and they give you free faucet, which you can get it very easily. Click here, Web3 faucet, and you will come back here, and here you will find they have a bunch of networks. So click here and you will have this Ethereum host key. They will give 1 ETH faucet. So click here. All you have to do is to simply paste your address and make a request. Once you will do that, it's going to transfer the faucet in your wallet address. You can see the transaction is in the process and this will go to 18. So just wait, soon the transaction will complete and you will have the faucet in your wallet address. And finally the transaction is completed. You can see it went up to 18. So you got the for the host key. Now you can come back here and you can get the for other networks. So let's click here, or you can simply do the reload. Now you have to select the Solidity. So let me find out Solidity where it is. This is the one, and it will give you this much Solidity ETH. So I'll simply select, click on this receive, and it's going to transfer the fund in my Solidity. So I'll simply come back here. If I change my Solidity, by default Solidity would be added here. So you can simply enable this one and you will find that I have this much fund and it will go up. It will go up. Soon the transaction will complete and it will go up. So find the transaction is completed and you will find that we have this much. Let's open it up one more time. The fund is went up. So we got the fund. You can simply click here to confirm the transaction is done and you have received your fund in your wallet address. Perfect. So that's how you can get the faucet. So once you will have enough faucet in your wallet address, make sure to switch your network, come back to the host key. There I am. Now I have to simply give a quick reload because I was quite inactive in this particular remix ID. So I'll simply come back here, go back to the contract, and I already have my contract. So I'll first come back here and I'm going to select the network. So I'll click on this injected provider MetaMask. So it will connect with the MetaMask and you can see I'm connected with the host key network. You can able to find the chain ID. It's 17,000 and I have already enough fund. So this is the first thing you have to do. Now you can come back here and you can simply come back to the files. There you have to select the contract. So we're going to deploy this one. This is the first token contract we have to launch on the Solidity. Come back here. You got it. Now you have to provide the name and the symbol. You can keep any name. So I have given the instruction. So let's go with the instruction first. So first I'm going to deploy the contract. Let's say this one, and I'm calling this bridge token. Make sure to do as it is the way I'm doing it. And I'm connected. Let's call this BT. And I'm connected with the account number 3. Perfect. Now I can click on this transaction and it's going to make a call and it's going to deploy our contract. So here we are deploying, click on confirm. And the transaction is in the process. You can open up your MetaMask to see the transaction in the process. So just wait, soon the transaction will complete and you will have the details. So finally the transaction is completed. We got the logs and here you will find the address of the token. So you can simply copy this one, copy the address. Now first thing you have to do is to come back here and you can go all the way down. So first we have deploy our bridge contract. So just keep it as it is here, okay? Because these addresses are very important. You have to keep it. Or you can do one thing, you can simply come back here and you can go back to the lib, go back to the contract, and here you can provide. So first we have to provide the bridge address, and that's what we got. Simply copy one more time to make it double sure. Come back here and you have to provide the address here. So I got the bridge token address. Now I have to get the bridge contract. So what I will do, I'll simply come back here. I have already copied the address. This one is really important, so make sure to do it as it is. Now you can click here. This time we have to come back to host clip bridge and this contract we have to deploy. Simply save it so it will compile successfully. Now you can come back to the deployment and you will find that we are connected with the same network and same wallet address, And here I have to provide the address of the token, bridge token. So I'll simply give here, and you will find that I have deploying the same contract. Select and click on this transaction, and it's going to perform the transaction. Click on this confirm, and the contract is deploying. So once you will get the confirmation, we have to get the address. So you can see we have the token. Just a moment, soon the transaction will complete. This might take a little bit time. So finally it completed the transaction, and here I got my address of the bridge contract. So we got it. Now I will simply copy this one, this address. Now I will come back here, and that's what I have to provide here. So make sure provide it properly. So I got the token and the bridge. So once I'm done with that, now what I will do, I'll simply come back here. I'll simply open this particular one, and you can able to find all the details about the contract. If you want to check the bridge token, you can click here, and you will find the details that which token we have deployed, 526. If you come back here and you want to confirm it, 526. So we have deployed the contract perfectly. Now we can simply close this one. We have tons of feature which you can able to see. Okay, now we can come back to the bridge contract, and here you will find that I have given the third stage. Come back to the readme file. We have deployed the contract. Now we have to mint the token. What we have to do, we have to mint the token. So this is the wrapper contract, and here we go to mint the token. You can keep any supply. So what I will do, I'll simply copy this entire quantity. It's in the way. So I'll come back here, and I want to simply call this mint function, and I'm going to paste the entire quantity, and I'm going to give the 3 more 0. If you want to increase more supply, you can do that. Now I have to get the address where I want to have the supply. So I can come back here, and I want to get my address, this address, because I am deploy the contract. I'll simply paste here, and I click on this and it's going to make a call. We are minting the token, and you can open up the MetaMask to see that we are minting the token and the token supply. So once it will complete, you can easily able to check all the details. Just a moment, soon the transaction will complete. And here we have, just a moment, and finally the transaction is completed, and we have minted the token. If you come back to the total supply, we have the supply. If you want to see the symbol, if you want to see the ownership, if you want to see the name, that's all is there. That's all is there. If you want to get the token info, you can click here, and you will have the entire token information. So every single thing is there. If you want to check the balance, you can come back here, you can give the address, and you can call, and you will have the balance of the token. If you want to check the allowance, all of things which you can do it very easily. Perfect. So this is the first stage. What we have done, we have deployed our board contract, and we have minted our token on the Hostly. Now we have to change the network, because this 2 contract we have to deploy on the Sofali network, the wrapper contract, and we have to deploy the Sofali bridge contract. So this is the one we're going to deploy. So I'm going to simply copy this called wrapper bridge token, because this is the name we have in most of the blockchain. If you have your token on one chain, and if you take that to another chain as a bridge, you have to give this wrapper. This is the architecture we follow. So we can come back here. Now I'll simply come here, and I'm going to switch my network. So by default, you will have this network configured already in the MetaMask. Simply select that one, and I have this one, and you can see I'm using the same account, and I already have enough fund in my wallet. You can see it's went up. Earlier it was 1, but now went up. You can see this is the 2 token I have. I'm going to simply remove this one. Remove this one. I'll select this, click here, remove this one. So right now we have the fund only. Now the moment I have changed my account, I'm using the third account. Now I'm going to simply give a not a reload. So I have changed my account. Now I can simply come back in the file, and first thing I have to deploy my wrap bridge token contract. I'll select this one. Let's close this one. This 2 is done. Hostly is done. Now I have to give this save, and it's going to compile the contract. Perfect. If you can come back here, and you will find that you are connected with the Sofali chain ID, and I'm using the same account. Now I'll simply come back here, and you will find that I'm calling this wrap bridge token contract. Got it? Now I can come back here. I have to provide the name. So I'll simply come back here. This is the name I'm going to select. I have switched my network. I'll give the name. Give the name, and I'm going to see BT as a wrapper. You can call whatever you want. That's the suggestion I have given here. Okay. Now I have to simply confirm the transaction. So it's going to deploy the contract. So just wait. Transaction is in the process. You can see we are using Sofali, and click on this confirm. and the transaction in the process. Once the transaction will complete, you will have your contract deployed, and we need the address of this particular contract. So we got it deployed successfully. Now we have to simply copy the address perfectly, come back here, go back to the contract. Now wrap token. So this is the address we have to provide because we have deployed our contract. Got it? Save it. Now you can come back here, or you can simply come back here. Next we have to deploy our Sofali bridge contract, in which we have to pass the address. So I'll simply come back here, I'll go back to files, I'll select my Sofali bridge, I'm going to save it, it's going to compile it. Now I can click here, I'm connected with the network. You can see the same network, Sofali. I'll click here, I will select the Sofali bridge, the contract. It's going to take the address of the wrap token. I'll simply copy that one, and that's what I'm going to paste here, and click on this transaction, and it's going to make a call. Finally, it's making a call. Click on this confirm, and the token, the contract would be deployed. You can simply check the MetaMask, and it will deploy successfully. So just a moment, soon the transaction will complete and this contract would be deployed successfully. So finally we have completed the transaction and deployed the contract. Now I can come back here. This is the bridge, simply copy. This is the wrapper and this is the bridge. Come back here, and that's what you have to paste here. Perfect. So we got all of this. We got this Sofali contract addresses. We got this Solidity contract addresses. Here we have the network configuration. Just keep it as it is. And here we have the ABI. So first we have to get this bridge token. So I can simply come back here and go back to the file, and then you will find the details. So I'll simply close this one, go back to the artifact, and you will find this bridge one we have. Simply close this one, or close this, deploy this, and you can come back here to this, copy the entire ABI, and that's what you have to paste. So here we have this first one, bridge. I'm going to simply select and paste here. We got it, bridge. Now we have to get the bridge. We got the bridge token. We have to get the host key. Select this one, click, close this one, copy. This is the host key bridge. That's what I have to paste here. So I'll simply come back here and replace here. This is the second. Now we have to go with the Sofali bridge. So I'll come back here. This is the Sofali bridge, the JSON one. Let's close this one, and close this one. Simply copy, come back here, and we have the Sofali bridge. Now I can simply select and paste here, close this one. Now we have to get the wrapper token. We have the wrapper bridge token. Close this one, close this one, and copy. And that's what we have to simply paste here. Perfect. So we are done with all the changes we have to provide. So we got our contract addresses, we got the ABI. That's the first thing we have done with that. So we have followed all of this instruction. If you want to read more about it, you can simply read more about it. Here I have already given the instruction that here you have to paste the bridge token, host clip bridge, wrapper token, and Sofali bridge addresses, and all of the other information which you can able to find that how the transaction will happen. So first we're going to approve, then we're going to simply do the transfer. So we are done with this one. Simply close this one, close this one, close this one, close this one. Now we have to come back to the environment variable, and here we have to get this few information. So let's start getting the first RPC URL, and we're going to use this ankr.com. So to get this, you have to come back here, open a new type arkm, hit enter. You will find the second link, click here, and this one is a really powerful platform and it's free to use it. So make sure to create your account and verify your account, because if you don't verify your account, you're not going to get your API key. So make sure to log in successfully. I already have my account, so I will log in successfully, and finally I have logged into my account, and you will find that I will have my dashboard and I can able to access the RPC endpoint. So I would suggest you that you have to get your own. It's free to use it because I have a limited number of requests which I can make in a day. So after that it's not going to work. So make sure to get your own. So you will find Ethereum, and we have deployed our contract to Hostclay and Sofali. So I'll click on this copy endpoint. You will have the test network. You can pick the main network if you have deployed the contract to the main network. So first I have to get with the Hostclay, and this API key would be different from account to account. Okay, so make sure to get your own. Simply copy, and that's what I'm going to simply paste here. So I'll simply paste here, and I'm going to simply replace this as well. So this is for Hostclay. You can see Hostclay. Now I have to get for Ethereum. Sofali. I'll simply select on Sofali, and it will change the RPC endpoint, the node, and I can come back here, click here one more time, copy, and that's what I have to paste here for Sofali. Got it. So I got the RPC URL for both the network. Now I have to get my wallet connect project ID. So I'll simply come back here, copy this one, or you can simply open a new tab and type and hit enter. It will take you right up here. I already have my account, so I'll simply suggest you to come back here, type wallet connect, hit enter, and you will find the very first link. This is the another way you can come. Click here and you will come back to this documentation. There you can able to read about it. So make sure to create an account and verify your account. I already created my account and verify my account, so you will find your dashboards. Click here, dashboard, and you will come back to your dashboard, and here this is how it will look. So they have changed the interface, but you can easily get all the project ID. So I have already created a bunch of projects. So if I show you that I have already have all of this accounts which I have created. So if you want to create your new, you can create here, or you can use the existing one. So I would suggest you to create a new one. So click on this create team. You will come back here. You can give a name, whatever you want. So I'll say, let's call this, that's the name. I'll click on this for, let's say, just for me, or you can select anything. I'll click on this continue, and you can pick a framework. So I'll go with this one. Click on this one, use AppKit to onboard users, or you can call this use AppKit. So I'll go with this one because I need to have multiple wallet. That's the one, and you can select any one of these category based on your projects. I'll simply select this one, click on this continue, and it's going to create a project. So you have your project. Now you can click on this project and you have to give the name. So I'll say my name. You can give whatever name you want. So click here, creating, and it's going to create a project for you. Perfect. Now you have to simply come back here and copy the address, this project ID, and that's what you have to paste here. Remove and paste here, and you got all the variables. So you got your contract addresses, you got your ABI, you got your environment variable. Now we are ready to test our application. So open up your terminal, and if I show you my node version, I am using the latest node version. There is no problem in that. There is no problem in that. So if you have any other version, try to test with that. If it's throwing you any kind of error, make sure to go with the required node version. Got it? Now I'm going to do the installation of the package. Simply type npm I, hit enter, and it's going to do the installation. This might take a little bit time depending on your system, depending on your internet. So just wait, let the installation get complete. And finally the installation is got completed. We are getting couple of warning, depreciated. Simply ignore that because we are using the combination of old and new packages for better stability. And you will find that you will get couple of commands. Simply don't run this, otherwise it's going to change the package version. Simply ignore this. Now the very first thing you have to do is to clear up your terminal, and we have the clean environment. Now we can come back here, and this is the command we have to execute, the dev environment. Simply type npm run dev, hit enter, and it's going to start the application on localhost 3000. You got it? Our application is ready. Simply copy the URL, close this one, and you can minimize it from here, or you can do it from here. Don't delete this. So let's minimize it from here. Now I'll simply come back to my browser, open a new tab. Let's first close all of this. Let's open a new tab, paste the URL, hit enter, and it's going to start the application on localhost 3000. So just wait, soon the application will start. You can come back here in the application, or you can see the terminal that we are making all of this requests. Just simply ignore it, all of this request. It looks absolutely fine, there is no problem. Now you can come back here. Here we have our application got started. Now if you come back here, see the console log, every single thing is fine, we don't have any issue. So let's close this one. Now give a quick reload, and we have connected our wallet successfully. You can see the token balance is available in my wallet address because this is the admin account. Now I can easily to perform the transaction. If I come back to the validator, there you will find the details about the account. So I am the admin, so I have the access of the admin panel. I can simply click here, and I can able to monitor. Right now there is no transaction is available, but the moment I will switch my account to account number let's say 2, I won't have the access of the admin panel. Looks absolutely fine. Now I will come back here. I'll go back to the account number 3. There it is. Now I can come back to the bridge, and let's perform couple of transactions. So I already have enough token, so I'll simply come back here, and let's 2000 token and transfer it to Sofali. So first I have to approve. Let's click double, and it's going to open it up. Here we are simply locking. Click on confirm, and the transaction is processed. Once it will approve, then we're going to simply lock the token. So just a moment, soon the transaction will complete, and finally we have got the approval in the MetaMask wallet. Now this option is available. Click double, and it's going to unlock, and click on this confirm. So here we are locking and calling the function in the contract. Just a moment, soon the transaction will complete and the state will be updated. So finally the token is locked in the contract. You can see the states is updated. If you come back to the validator, and here you will find, click on this start monitoring, you will find that you will get the details, and this is the very first transaction you have. Now you can click on this process. You will find that it's going to change, but right now you need one more locking so we can easily able to build the chain. So we can come back here and let's try to build that. So what I will do, I'll simply come back here. It will switch the network. So I'll simply click here to host clay. I'll give a root. So whenever you change the network, make sure to give a reload. So it will going to set the data according to the network. So right now you will find that I have a zero balance. That's why I'm not getting the option. It's a dynamic one. What I will do, I'll simply transfer, let's say 8,000 more, or I can say, let's say 4,000 more token. That's the one. I can click on this approve, click double. Now click on this confirm, and the transaction is going to be approve our token to lock in the contract. So just a moment, you can open up the MetaMask to see the transaction in the process. Finally we got the approval, and now we are ready to click on the bridge tokens. Click here, double, and it's going to make a call. Click on this confirm, and the transaction is happening. We are locking the token in the contract. Just a moment, soon it will be completed. And here the transaction is in the process. Just give a moment. So we have done with the transaction. Now we can come back to the validator, or let's do one thing, let's perform one more transaction. So I'll go with this. That's 300 token. Click on this approve, and click on this confirm. The transaction is happening. Let's click here, and you will find the details. So I would suggest you to at least perform 3 or 4 transactions as an admin, because it will going to set the chain. After that you can easily able to, the user can easily able to make the transaction. So let's click on this confirm, and it's going to open the MetaMask. So just wait. Okay, let's click here one more time, and now we have to simply give the 300 token. It's already approved. Let's click on this bridge, and here we have that. We can call in the lock model. Let's click on this confirm, and the transaction is in the process. Now you can come back here. You can see the details. The transaction is happening, and it's locking the token in the contract. So altogether we have performed 3 transactions. So I would suggest you to perform 3 and 4 transactions as an initial transaction. And finally we have completed 3 transactions on the Hostcli network, and you will find that this much token is available on the Hostcli, and the rest of the token is locked in the contract. So we as a validator, we have to approve it. Then the token is going to be transferred to the Solidity network. So I'll simply come back to the validator. You can come back here, or you can click here, and you will come back to the validator section, and then you will find this option. So click on this start monitoring, and it's going to give you all the transaction which is left. So right now we have this 3 transaction. This is the first one, this is the second one, and this is the third one. So before you proceed ahead and confirm the transaction, you have to do one thing, otherwise you're going to have an error. So what we have to do is we have to come back to our remix ID, and here you will find that we have already deployed our contract. Come back in the code, you can go back to the readme file, and then you will find an all option. So we have called this particular contract successfully. Now we have to build the bridge. We have to call this function, and we have to set the bridge address. So we have to go to the wrap bridge token contract, and there we have to simply pass our bridge address. So let's do that quickly. So what I will do, I'll simply come back here, and this is my contract address, Solidity bridge, and that's what we have highlighted, and we have to pass that one. So let me copy this one, expand this particular contract, and you will find the function we have here, set bridge. This is the function we have to call it, new bridge. So let me find this new bridge where it is. So I have to get the set bridge. This is the function. I think this is the one we have it, set bridge, and the name of the variable is new bridge. So if I come back here, this is the function I have to call, set bridge. So what I will do, I'll simply paste the address of our Solidity bridge, and I will click on this transaction. Once I will do that, it's going to make a transaction, and this going to build the connection with the token and the bridge. So just wait, soon the transaction will complete, and you will find that we will successfully build a bridge, so we can easily proceed the transaction, and the data can be transferred from one blockchain to the other. So just wait, soon the transaction will complete. And finally we have completed the transaction. You can see we got our addresses, and every single thing is set. Now we can come back here in the application. You can simply give a quick reload, and now we are ready to perform the transaction. So you can simply click on the start monitoring, and it's going to fetch out the balance. So we have to execute this one, 0. We have 1 and 2. So I'll simply execute the 1001 first. I'll simply click on this process, and just wait. It's going to set up the environment variable, and I will click on this one. So you should always go with the like 0 1 2 3, okay, in that way. So I'll simply click on this process, and it's going to execute the transaction. You will see it will open the pop-up model, and we are simply calling the minting function, and we have switched back to Sofali and click on this confirm. Once you will do that, you will find the transaction is in the process, and once the transaction will complete, the token would be transferred to the Sofali network, and the token we have on the host key would be locked. So just wait, soon the process will complete. Give some time and find the transaction is completed, and we have done with the transfer. If you come back to the validation, or sorry, bridges, you will find that you have your token available, and this option is also available. So if you want to bring the token back to your native token, or you can see right now we have on the Sofali, that's why it's telling us to switch back to our native network where we have our token. Or if you want to do the vice versa, means you want to bring your token back to Hostly, you can simply click here and it will swap. I'll come back here and I'm going to confirm the one more transaction. So right now we have done with this one. Now I'm going to execute this one. So first I'll select this, and it's going to process. It's processing. Now I have to click on this process. So it's going to take the data and combination, and it's going to pass that one. So you will find that here it's loading. We are simply calling the second transaction, click on the confirm, and the token would be available on the Sofali network. So just wait. So this is what exactly you have to do. You can see every single thing is really working absolutely smoothly, and it's really powerful. You can build tons of things on top of it, but this is the exact architecture follow in the industry. So if I come back to the bridges, you will find that right now we have the token available is 5,000. Earlier it was 1,000. If I come back to validator, still there is one transaction is still in the pending state. So we have to wait for another lock, and then we can execute this one, because we need the combination, we need the new one, so we can simply able to track that one. And that's how we are making the secure model, so no one can run any kind of bot or try to hack our contract. So this one is really powerful. Now what I will do, I'll come back here, and right now you'll find that I'm connected on the Sofali, so I can mint more token on the Sofali network. So if I come back here, click on the switch, and it's going to switch that one, and I'm going to simply swap from Hostly to Sofali. So let's do one more time. I'm going to transfer 600 more token. Click on this double and click it one more time. So when you will click second time, it's going to trigger the function. So let's click on this confirm, and you will find the transaction in the processing. Once it will approve our token, now we have to simply confirm the bridge. So just wait, soon we'll get the confirmation from our MetaMask, and here the transaction is in the process. And finally we got the confirmation in the front end, and we have to click on this bridge, click it two more time, and here you will find, click on this confirm, and we have locked another token. So just wait, soon the transaction will complete, and this token would be locked in our Hostly network, and it will pass on the data to our Sofali details contract. So just wait, and just a moment, finally the transaction is completed. You can come back to the validator, and here you can easily able to confirm the transaction. So you can come back here and you can do that. Right now you will see this two transaction is in the process, so you can simply complete this one or complete this one, both, it's up to you. So I will always suggest you to go with the proper order. So like this one is pending, so I'll first select this one, and it's processing. Now once we'll complete the processing, now click on this next one. So it will take the detail of the both the token, combine it, and it's going to trigger the event, and you will find that we are minting 400 token. And finally the transaction is in the process. So it's really powerful, very smooth. So come back here in the MetaMask, and you see the transaction in the process. Once we'll get the confirmation, we are ready to start working on the other way. So right now we have the token, enough token in our wallet address on the Sofali chain. So if I want to bring this token back to our Hostly network, I can do that very easily. So I can simply click here, and I can simply switch, and you will find the network is switched. So now I'm going to transfer from Sofali to Hostly. That's the one way. If I come back here, if I go to Hostly, and you will find and give a reload, you will find that I will get an option from here as well. So if I want to transfer this token which I have on the Sofali, I can simply click on this, and it's going to switch the network. So it will switch this one, and now I have to switch the network. So click here, and it's going to switch. So here we have switch. I want to transfer, let's say I want to do two transactions. Let's do that. So I'll say 400. First I have to click on this approve, double click, and it's going to trigger. And the reason why we have to double click it, because we have to simply set it up. Click on this confirm, and the transaction is happening. Click on the MetaMask, and see the transaction is in the pending state. Once it will complete, you will have an option called bridge token. We got it, confirmation. Now we can click here, double click, and here the transaction is in the process. You can see we are calling the burn function we have. So it's going to burn the token in the vault address and it's going to give the window to our hostly network. So simply click on this confirm, and the transaction is in the process. So just wait, soon the transaction will complete. So finally the transaction is completed and we have burned the token and provided the data to our hostly contract. So we got it. Now this updated. Now I want to do, let's say 200,000 more. So let's say 2000. Click on this approve, and here we have it. Now click on this confirm, and it's going to approve our token. Just a moment. Well, got it. Soon the transaction will complete and you will have the button available down below one. So it's taking a little bit time. You can click on the MetaMask to see the transaction is in the pending state. Once it will complete, this will be available. So finally the token is approved successfully. But right now you can see we are getting this approved. So you can simply do this, reload the page sometime. It's take a little bit time to get the confirmation. So it will simply give you this one. So I want to switch back to, let's say, Sofali, and I have already approved 200 tokens. So the moment I will give the quantity, let's say quantity, I'll get this one. So let's click on this approve one more time. There is no problem in it. Just wait. Soon the transaction will complete. So we are approving. So my bad. Now I can come back here. I'm giving the approval. Come back here. See in the MetaMask, we're giving the approval to our token. And now we have to simply click on this bridge token once we get the confirmation from the approval. Very straightforward, okay? Now the button is available. Now we can click here, double click, and it's going to click on the burning, and it's going to pass the data to our hostly network. So that's how it will work. Every single thing is absolutely fantastic. So you will find that we are burning it out, and soon we'll get the details. And just wait, soon the transaction will complete and you will have the data. This token will go down. So it went down. Now if you come back to the validator, there you will find the details about the transaction which you have done. So click on the start monitoring, and there you have. You will find that right now these 4 pendings are there. So we have to execute the transaction to complete it. 2000 and 200, the burning. So first I'm going to execute this one, the 400. So let's click that one, and it will automatically switch the network and do the processing. Now you can click on the second one. So it will take the data from the previous one and combine it, and simply click on this confirm, and here the transaction is happening. You can open the MetaMask and you can see your token will be back to your vault address. So just a moment, we have confirmed the transaction. Now if you come back here, you will see the token went up to 400. Earlier it was 0. Now you can come back here, just remember this variable, and this went down already. Come back here in the validator. Now click on the start monitoring, and here you will have the option. So this one is already done. Now I want to execute this one. So earlier it was 5, now it will go to 7. So I'll simply click on this. Let's do this one. Click on that. We done it. Now we'll go with the second nuances. Click on confirm, and you will find the transaction is happening. Click on this confirm, and just wait. Soon the transaction will complete. So open up your MetaMask. See, the transaction is happening. We are calling the unlock token, and once we're done with that, the token would be available in our wallet address. So just a moment, soon the transaction will complete and you will have the token. And finally the transaction is completed. Now you can come back to the bridges and you will find that this token went up. It was 5, now it's 7. So that's how you can able to build the connection. That's how you can able to bring your token back to your native blockchain, or you can transfer to the bridge one. So you can click here and you will find that all the status are updated. So this is the one which is left in the burning, means getting the token back to our hostly network, and this is the one which will confirm. So we have to wait because we need the confirmation of the new block, then we can able to build the bridge. So that's why we are building more secure system. You can automate this entire process. You can run a simple JavaScript bot, Node.js bot, which you can execute on the cloud, provide all the details, and it's going to simply trigger based on the event. So every single thing is working fine. I hope you can understand that how powerful this application is. This is what exactly you're going to develop in this complete project. It's really powerful. So I hope you have understood that what exactly you will have in the final source code when you will take it, how you have to do the setup, how you have to execute it. So make sure you have to initialize the contract, deploy the contract properly the way I have explained. First you have to deploy the contract like token contract and the hostly bridge contract on the hostly network. Then you have to deploy the wrapper contract and Sofali contract to the Sofali network. Then you have to execute the way I have set to execute and set the addresses and mint the token. So that's how you have to do it. So hope you have understood every single thing that what exactly there, and this is how the bridges work in the blockchain. So I hope every single thing is clear. If you want to get the final source code, you can come back here and get the final source code. There you will have the complete source code which you have seen in the demo, and you must check this particular course if you really want to master blockchain development. Welcome. And wanted to build this kind of application. So if you take this bootcamp in which you will master complete Solidity programming language where you can able to understand the entire blockchain environment setup, you're going to build one of the biggest project ever in the blockchain development. You're going to have a clash courses on the important technology which you have to know. You're going to learn about the security and optimization. You're going to build your own API which you can utilize in any blockchain or any decentralized or centralized application. So this is the complete bootcamp which you can have a look. So I hope you have understood that what exactly you have got in the final source code and how you have to do the setup of the code. So that's the only thing I want to cover in this video. With that, I'm ending this video. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.